Okay, let's get started. So, my name is Craig Radow. I'm on the Studio City Neighborhood Council, and I'm the Public Safety Chairman. So thank you all for coming this evening. We're going to call to order, and the Vice Chair, John, may roll in just a few moments. But Marsha, if you could, we'll do the call. Craig Radow here. John Crotteau, expected. Wait. Marsha Newman.
Here.
Patty Paul.
Here.
Patty Kirby. Not yet. There we go. I sent the minutes from the March 23rd meeting, and there's a copy up here. Patty, Marsha, are you comfortable with them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll start with committee update by the committee chair, myself. You know, we're...
This is not for me.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Welcome. Right on time.
Am I the only one that parked in the structure?
I parked. We all did. We all did. Yeah. No, it's
It's like
about
that
15
every
minutes.
time.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So just some general updates from myself. We had the last public safety meeting, we discussed the back to basic car patrol motion that's in the front of the LA City Council. The Public Safety Committee voted unanimously that more research should be done to look into greater patrol in the neighborhood. John is now here. Then that motion that was in our committee went to the full Studio City Neighborhood Council Board, and it was passed unanimously the other night, and it was a 5-hour meeting that we went through various motions and topics. So now that motion, the support of Studio City and our neighborhood council will now go to LA City Council for a community impact statement. So thank you. Many people in the room wrote letters of support to the council, to the LA City Council, so that passed unanimously. We also gave the other night $2,500 to the local North Hollywood Police Department, and they are putting up message boards in their police department in various locations, and that'll have the potential criminals, updates, and just ways to get the word out within the police department, the precinct itself. So the officers, the sergeants, lieutenants were very happy, and Patty Kirby, who's not here just yet, helped push that through our committee, and that got through the budget and the council. The Studio City Neighborhood Council, the way the year works, we have until about June. So if you have a organization or somewhere that feels that wants to come in front of the board for monetary support, now is the time. We have a little bit of money, and you could come and make the case for it. Carpenter School has, who else has? Police department, number of...
There was somebody else.
yeah, who was that third one?
I remember the school was the 3 lunch tables.
Usually the school, exactly, yeah.
There was something else.
Something to keep in mind. The LA River, some positive developments on the LA River. Is someone looking? Oh, yeah. Patty?
Looks like it.
Yeah, Patty. Patty? They change our room on us every time. So the LA River, so that's really, and I try to give updates at each meeting. It really has been a area of concern and something I've been focusing on alongside some stakeholders even here tonight. And speaking specifically between Tahunga and Colfax, the LA River on the south side has been full of transient individuals. A lot of that property is from property owners along Ventura Boulevard. So a couple of positive developments along that area. One, the county installed a heavy-duty gate on Tahunga. I don't know if anyone has a chance to see it. You could come up later and I could show
I
you
saw them
photos.
doing, they were welding.
Yeah, yeah, it went from being a typical fence to a full-scale welded, no, it was a gate, now it's a fence, that you can't break the lock. Am I describing it
Yeah.
correctly?
Yes, it has a shroud around the lock.
Yes.
So you can't use bolt cutters, there's nothing to, you can't snip through it, you can't,
Yeah.
wow, very
So,
difficult.
Very positive development. Now,
Yeah.
you still could come in on the opposite side, which is open on Colfax, but it is a bit of a deterrent on Tahunga because it was, and it was a visual eyesore. And then I know myself, I know you have been fighting the county to try to get change in that, and they did listen. And I think they're using it as a test to see if they want to put it in other areas along the LA River, which of course hits a large part of Studio City. Also, along that same section, there is about 5 business owners whose land touches the back of the LA River where all the transient individuals have been living. We are making progress with them. They have cut their shrubs. They have put up no trespassing signs. I did go out there the other day and saw giant signs in the back there. And now what's great is I take the photos of one owner's work, and then I go to the other owner, I say, see? I mean, look what they did. Now you guys, now the attention's on you. So hopefully we'll get all 5 owners back there.
What are these businesses that you are dealing?
These are the, it's a mix. It's the car, I don't want to say chop shops, but the mechanics. You know what I'm talking about between Tahunga and Colfax. There's the nursing home.
Yes.
Who he's been responsive, but and they have cleaned some of the brush back because it does cause fires, but they haven't put up the no trespassing signs yet. On the very corner, a woman named Helen Wang. It used to be a costume shop there on the. It's not that any longer. Helen Wang owns a property. She did put up the brown wood fence and those mini no trespassing signs. So she's been responsive. Cade Hosworth family has been responsive. The convalescent center has been okay, but I will continue to push them. But it's progress back there, and as we go into the summer, I'm encouraged. Anything you want to add?
Maybe we should just go ahead and get the signs for them. Or
That's a
to
thought.
get them, posted up there. Because otherwise, have they all signed the no trespassing letters?
3 of the 5 have, the 3 biggest landowners.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's been submitted to the, I submitted it. But that's not a bad idea. Let's try maybe one more round of applying some pressure to them, and then we'll, the thing with the LA River is it's sometimes the county, sometimes it's Parks and Rec, it's sometimes the city. So you could come to myself or probably Krikorian's office, and we could help push it along. But if you ever have a question, you could come to me first, and we could navigate that. Footbeat with a cop. Patty, could you speak to
I wasn't
this?
there, but
Oh,
I
that's right,
heard
you
it
weren't.
was fabulous.
It was.
And there were like 40 some odd
At
people
least,
there. And the officers, the 2 officers, one is Sean Smith, who there's only 2 more weeks left. And but Mike Lewis officially retires Monday. And so the process
Okay.
starting, but we will have another slow in the meantime, not
Really?
Sean. I met with the captain, that's where I just came from. Please let us, and he said, no, I have to do another person. So we have another person coming on board in 2 weeks. But anyway, John Candelano is Valley Village, North Hollywood area. They were thrilled with the turnout, and they're motivated. And I think Sean sent an update email today that we just posted on Nextdoor. I think you probably got a copy. So
Maybe we should update the room, actually. You know what? It's a good update.
yeah, it's a good update. And then I have some updates from Captain Graham just now, which is kind of
Let's start with that.
they.
Patty's on the Public Safety Committee here, but also an active member with CPAB, the Community Police Advisory Board.
Yeah.
I got it.
They've arrested another knock-knock burglar, and another, today, a guy, an armed robber. So they're really, moving along. It's interesting, Don Graham actually looked it up. There's a rapper song that tells, it's the recipe for how to do a knock-knock burglar. And it's a rapper, YG. He's got a song out, and the lyrics are exactly what to do for a knock-knock burglary. And you can look it up. You can Google it, and you can buy it for $1.25 or whatever, too. So he's asking the community to write to, I think it's NBC Universal that actually published that song, to comment on that. And if you listen to it, he read me the lyrics. It's exactly what to do, and where to find the jewelry, and where to go sell the jewelry.
And maybe
In rooms.
maybe if we know the song, we'll be able to better protect
Yeah.
ourselves.
It's called YG, and the name of the song is Meet the Flockers, Flockers. That's the word for knockers in the South Central. Flockers. Flockers, and it's written by Mikey Wilhelm Adam. And it's produced by Universal. So he said, let's get that, if we can, write letters and get that song next.
It's kind of late.
Yeah, it is late, but,
Can we
it's
get
out
it
there.
next
The
week?
rappers have it. But it's
copyrighted.
It's shocking. It's just absolutely shocking
Yeah.
to the detail about how often you ride up and down the street, randomly pick a house, and it's all there. So anyway, we are making great progress with, one of the main things Captain asked, he said the one way to get, I said, we need 2 slows in Studio City. We need 2 basic cars. And he says, well, I'll get you that if you can, get your crews to write letters to Krikorian that they need to hire citizens. He said, if I had 7 citizens working for me, I could take 7 cops and put them on the street.
Okay.
So if I had 8 citizens in my, he's got cops doing sworn-in cops doing clerical work. He doesn't even have a secretary.
I think we could do this.
Yeah, and he said that would he would take those cops and put them right out, and I said, we need another basic car area. And he said, make it loud and clear, have the community write the letters, we got it.
And Officer Smith said this the other day as well.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think what we'll do is maybe, Patty, you could give me some language. I'll craft something, a general letter. We've done this before, and we'll start posting it
It's
places.
to Krikorian, the head of the finance committee. The finance committee has to approve citizen budget more I'll write it up for you, but if we go back to 2005 and look at what LAPD employed as civilian employees, staff, that's what he would want
Sounds doable.
now, and increase police coverage. So that was the biggest takeaway.
A number that we should strive for.
Which he said 7, right?
Yeah, he said if he could, if he could have 7 civilians come to the North Hollywood Police Station to work, he could put 7 cops out on the street.
How many letters do you think they would need in order to
I have no idea, but it's all writing to Krikorian, the budget committee.
Let's do this week. I think this is good because it's, instead of just saying we need more patrolling, this gives at least a concrete, specific action
This is the way
item.
to get cops out of the office and
Right.
onto the street. I mean, they're doing mundane tasks.
Yeah.
Sworn-in officers are doing clerical tasks because somebody has to do it.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, so
Is
let's see.
that
What
the
else?
police station on Burbank?
Yes. I asked him about a speaker for 911. He's going to hook us up
Good.
for the 911 call center. That may take a while because it's got to go through the sergeant, and everything goes through the sergeant. But anyway,
Okay.
that is. And so we'll probably be having, since the footbeat with the cop was so successful, we'll probably have more. And hopefully people would join in and participate too, because I heard it was great. I had the flu. So I couldn't be there.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were.
Yep, 3 days of the flu, so. Yep. So that's the takeaway from him just an hour ago.
I'm just trying to pull up Sean Smith's update from a minute ago.
It's on Nextdoor, or it should be on Nextdoor. One more thing. We're launching North Hollywood Crimebusters Facebook page, and it is very exciting. If you go onto your Facebook page and type in North Hollywood Crimebusters and join, then Heather is the genius that put this together. And we modeled it after West Valley. They have a very successful Facebook, and it's where you can post your suspicious activity. And the police will be monitoring it, we'll be monitoring it, and we'll finally get some interaction, like real-time posts get going. So North Hollywood Crimebusters Facebook page.
Just to recap some highlights from Officer Smith from about an hour ago. He's having some success solving the homeless issue along the wash. They've been warned about the environmental problems. I know that's something you brought up, Marsha, caused by trash and other items getting into the water, and that they cannot stay there. The Department of Sanitation is leading the cleanup. Officer Smith reiterated the other day, it's the Department of Sanitation who can clean up the tents. The officers do not have the power to remove the physical tents, but the sanitation department does. So keep that in mind when reporting. People in the area are doing a better job of not leaving valuables in their vehicles. That is good. And he's been working with Valley Traffic Division to get more traffic enforcement up in the hills and around the Donnas. I've seen radar trailers up there. And he encourages people to take a picture of suspects if they see something suspicious, but always be mindful of your safety first in those situations. Okay. So open it up to public comments.
I was wondering if we could get someone once mentioned that a little helpful card for the homeless with all the numbers on it, that they could get help instead of handing out cash or whatever. I see a lot of people handing out cash in Studio City, so.
We actually did that about 10 years ago. The Studio City Neighborhood Council printed up, you remember? Printed up the cards, and it was like, it helped us, not feeling guilty about not giving them money, but then they just threw them away. It didn't do anything. They don't want to get help. But, I mean, we can try it again. It's been 10 years.
How do we connect the people who would visit them 10 times, 20 times to talk to them? How do we get those people connected to where the homeless people are?
Oh, they know. They
The one-on-one and,
yeah, they go out. The Hope Team goes out,
okay.
as you know, and the officers try to, you know, they'll spend the extra time to say, come on, let me take you to a facility, and they won't go. So, but I mean, it might be worth a try.
I don't know.
You know, just little business cards that say where to go, but.
And there's a special thing for foster care, a different number for youth and
Yeah.
other things.
Anyone on the committee want to respond? Any comments to that? Any other public comments? Okay.
Okay, well, I'll bring up one thing. The police station itself seems to be lacking personnel also, because I went down there to return a set of keys that, somebody came looking for them. And I walked in, and I went up to the desk, and no one came up, and everybody said, ahem, and there were other people just waiting in line, and their phones were ringing off the hook. 4 stations, nobody there. I sat down and waited with the other 8 people, while more people kept coming in, and some fellow said he had come the day before. He couldn't get to talk to anybody. He had to leave. And finally somebody showed up, but she said, well, do I answer those phones first? And everybody said, no, we came down, we need help. So she took the next person, but then it was going to be another 7 people before I got it. So I just left the keys with the big note, and I left because it was going to take too long. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna speak, we're gonna vote on a motion tonight in regards to the problem of phones being unanswered at police precincts. So we're gonna speak to that in a few
A
moments.
lot of that has to do with the lack of civilians in the back office.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah, we're definitely gonna put that in motion. I'm gonna make a note to talk to you later. Talk to Patty.
we're out of town. No.
Okay. If there's no other public comment, so the ring situation. So bad news and some good news. So the bad news is Phil from Ring called me about an hour and a half ago in a panic that he didn't want to get into the personal circumstances, but he's dealing with a personal emergency. He is hoping and was hoping to send his associate and other Ring spokesperson to come here tonight, but she's finishing up at the doctor. So he just texted me, and as you know, Studio City Neighborhood Council, like we have in the agenda, and I've said time and time again, we can't support, we could support, but we don't endorse any specific product. So that being said, he did text me, and he's very apologetic, and he said he'll give everyone a $50 discount. I told him at least a $50 discount. And I'm going to give you his personal phone number. Probably not the best idea to call him in the next 24 hours, but you can give him a call later this week. And his name is Phil.
They have a webpage.
You know what?
But this will get you right to him, and and the fact that he did not show up tonight as promised, he'll make good on that offer and work with you.
I can talk about this a little because
Yes,
I know about these
perfect,
things.
because Marsha, I'm going to have you talk, and Peter's going to talk in just a moment, but I wanted to give the facts about the situation and how everyone could get in touch with him. So his name is Phillip Dienstag, Dienstag, and he's the head of neighborhoods for Ring. His cell phone number is 203-610-1178. 203-610-1178. And I'll give it to you again in a moment. And same holds true for viewers who might be watching at home in this video later, to contact him. And his email is phil, PHIL, @ring.com. So I encourage you to call him directly with any questions, and hopefully he will give you a discount, which you guys deserve for him not being here this evening. But that being said, 2 experts in the room in this, and Peter mentioned this to me earlier, you have various video alarm systems. Could you give an update?
Well, as it relates to Ring or just in general?
I believe you use Ring and another.
Yeah, I use something called Skybell, and when we back up the Ring, I bought Ring before it was Ring. It was Doorbot. I bought in. It was a crowdfunding thing, and so 6 months before it came out, I saw this. I go, this is just so cool. So I bought into it, and it didn't work. So I got my money back, but it's the same folks who are the Ring folks, and they then came out with the Ring doorbell, which seems to work better. I just opted not to go with Ring because I found this thing called Skybell, which worked okay, and I recently updated my Skybell to this thing called Skybell HD, and I have to say it's phenomenal. It's really good. I'd say, personally, I like it better than Ring because I find it's quicker, and it hooks up to my alarm system. Is anybody familiar with Front Point Security?
Yeah.
Could you back up and just explain on a basic level what these?
Okay. I guess a few of you have Ring doorbells?
No.
No? Okay.
I do.
I'm considering it.
Okay, let's see if I can call it up. So Ring is, there you go. Ring is a doorbell that somebody rings your doorbell, and let's see if I can call it up here.
You just walk by it with the garbage truck,
Oh.
like that. Sits on.
I'm trying to, I have access to to Patrice's ring, so I'm trying to call it up right now. This is one of the issues with it. Somebody rings your doorbell, and depending on your internet connection,
I think that was me, it's the internet. Okay.
yeah, it depends how quickly it connects. You notice it hasn't connected yet. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But there you go. So this is a live view from from the doorbell. So it's a wide angle camera. You can also listen and talk to the person on the other end, which is great. I've used it successfully since, so I live across the street, and I was across the street in my office, and somebody rang this doorbell, some kids, and I answered the doorbell across the street, and they were, I sent you the video, they obviously didn't belong and didn't have any purpose there, and they knew it was Ring, and they were on their best behavior. They wanted to commend me on my book box. I don't think any of them could read, but anyway, you know the drill, casing the place. So that's, sorry, I'm getting text messages here. When it works great. What's great about it is either motion or an actual push will cause it to record. You can spend $3 a month, I believe, for a cloud recording service, and either motion record or an actual push will record into the cloud. You have a whole collection. What I've seen that I do like is there's a little button up in the corner here, and if you have a collection of videos, you can hit that button and it goes into, I don't have all the details on it, but I know I hit the button to see what was up, and it appears to be like Nextdoor, but Ring's version of Nextdoor. So there's a whole collection of videos that people have made public in your area, and it's scary. What, people coming up, just crazy people coming up to your door or whatever. But I do like that aspect of it. The one that I have on my front door, Skybell, let's see if I can find that here. The picture I find is better. It hooks up to my alarm system, which is Front Point Security, and it records. I have cameras through Front Point, and it records into the cloud with Front Point. It just seems like it works a little quicker for me.
So is the front, does it only hook up to the front point?
No,
alarm
there's
company?
two versions of it, and there's one that just has this is the picture from my front door. You can see it's not as distorted. It's wider, and this is HD. This is an HD picture from my front door. You can hear the wind blowing and the wind chimes.
Yeah.
The same thing. You can talk to somebody on the other end, and automatically records into the cloud. What I do find is, as I hear your ring going off, I hear that a lot with people's rings. The motion sensing seems to be, it doesn't work.
Oh, it's windy out.
But I don't believe it necessarily works from wind. I think it's a heat signature from somebody. So a big truck in the distance will set it off, and somebody closer may not trigger it. And there's all these settings in Ring you can set, but I have not had any success taming it to make it work really well.
And how much, you want to talk about the costs?
I think they're all roughly around $200. The Skybell, I think, was around $200. The Ring, do you know,
The Ring is about 160
But
for
there's
the first one, and
right.
then the camera, I think, is 100.
Well, there's two different Ring doorbells. There's
the Ring Pro and the Ring. Mine is just it's just a USB charge. You just charge it up,
yeah, that's
or you can hook it up to your doorbell.
yeah.
Okay, you want to talk
wireless.
about
It's
the
wireless.
installation? How does it get installed?
You can install it yourself. I installed it. The only problem I had was my Wi-Fi didn't work far enough to the front of the house. So I mean, it's easy. It's got a plate that you put on, and then you hook on the unit. It's easy to do. And it's got a special screwdriver that crooks don't have, so they can't take it off.
They just use the program.
And what about the battery life?
That's dependent on how you have motion sensings, and I also noticed there was a setting for quick turn on and off, and if you do that, that depletes your battery quicker.
If you use Live View a lot, then it goes fast. but mine lasts about a month and it's a USB, so I just pull it off, charge it for an hour, put it back up, and it lasts for about a month.
I think it's fair to say that whether you go with company A, B, or C, you see the advantage of having a video system like this responding to when someone answers your door. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think what's good, what I've noticed is I have a small house and I have, let's see, 4 cameras in front of my house. It's a 44-foot piece of property, 4 cameras. Nobody notices that. But Ring, because of the presence or the idea of a doorbell that mine, it looks like a doorbell, but you can tell it's not a door, it's just a doorbell because it's got all these crazy colors and it changes colors. So I think people are starting to be aware. So I think it's a pretty good deterrent. And the video that I sent you, these kids were definitely aware it was a Ring, and they were.
Yeah, if you want to see the video, come see me or Peter after. I know you came in late. There was an update, an unfortunate emergency with the speaker of Ring tonight. But afterwards, I have his personal phone number, and he's willing to give a discount, and he's very apologetic, so you can talk to him directly, probably in 48 hours from now.
Oh, no, that's okay. My name is Leslie Harris Clay, and I do run social media at Pizza Guy Studio City. And
At where?
Pizza Guy Studio City. Yes, and so
Pizza Guys?
I emailed Craig and told Craig that I was coming tonight, so thank you.
Did you have a public comment tonight? We already passed public comment, but is this something you wanted to share or worrying you?
I can wait later. I don't have to
Okay.
bring it and I don't
Okay, you
want
can talk to it.
Excuse me, can I just ask a little more?
Of course, that's why we're here.
So the Sky Bell, you said it hooks up to your alarm, but your company is the front point security.
Yeah,
So if you have ADT or someone, does it hook up to any alarm company?
I don't know. There's two versions of this doorbell. So maybe, and they have to change the firmware inside
Okay.
the doorbell to make it work with it.
Okay, I can address this.
Yeah.
If you have an alarm contract with an alarm company that's being monitored, you can call them up and say you want to discuss putting cameras anywhere in your house, interior, exterior. And they will come out and they will tell you how much it costs, and you have to ask about the price of the equipment and installation. And then you have to deal with, do you want to have it monitored by them or do you want to monitor it? Now, if they monitor it, you have to think about privacy issues. Okay? This is a very personal issue for you. I know a lot of celebrities that do not want an ADT monitoring the cameras in their house, okay? So you can monitor it yourself. That means you have to deal with, what you have to ask the alarm person is, what's the false alarm rate? I believe that Ring, it's all motion sensitive. It's not sophisticated enough for heat, okay? That's what the military uses. So you have to ask about false alarms. Setting the sensitivity, okay? You don't want it to go off when the wind chimes.
You're talking now about the Sky Bell or?
Any alarm company, it doesn't matter what the manufacturer is, okay? How many people here have pay monthly for an alarm company? Okay, if you want to include, do you have a camera?
What condo that we pay?
Okay, if you want to include a camera, then call them up and say, I want to discuss cameras with you. And see what their sales story is. See what they're going to tell you. Find out, can you adjust the sensitivity? How much is it going to cost? The type of monitoring, their privacy. Okay, what kind of privacy can they show
But
you?
Marsha,
Yeah.
when you deal with an outside alarm company, is it similar to pressing the doorbell and then monitoring that? Or is it two separate things? Is Ring and Sky Bell different than monitoring?
You have to ask them. You have to ask them. Be very honest. Say, tell me the difference between the video doorbells that I can get off the shelf and the one that you would be providing for me. Just call them video doorbells.
So some alarm companies do have the video doorbell system
Yeah.
that they could use.
Right. And they may roll it into your monthly contract. It could be $5 extra a month. I know the Ring people. They're in Santa Monica. Their background is in telephone systems. They came up with this. It's a great deterrent. The more that you can take into your own hands to collect evidence and harden your target, make your house be the one that no crook wants to go to, the better you are. So the more you can control it yourself, provide evidence yourself. I don't know about admissible evidence of video recording in case of a crime. That I don't know. I think it's good to collect it.
One thing that I just found out, because one of our neighbors was burglarized and the camera across the street caught the car, but unless you catch the car on the video going in the driveway, they can't do anything with that video.
Really?
You need to see the license plate and you need to see the car on the property. So that's where a security alarm would probably be a little bit better, I would say.
Yeah, there are a lot of options. You can go to Home Depot, Fry's, or Best Buy and buy yourself a kit. You can do what's called DIY. There are also companies called Simply Safe, which is, it's different than ADT. You buy a system you can put up yourself. Okay, but for the people that want to upgrade the security in their house, but you're a little bit handy and you don't want to spend $40 to $60 a month, you can put up the sensors by the doors, sensors by the windows. You can monitor it yourself.
What if you're what if you're traveling? If you're in another state, how do you monitor it yourself?
It'll come up on your camera, on your phone, on your phone.
On your phone.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And you can still talk from.
Not necessarily talk. You have to see, you have to go, and there are many products. It's called DIY security. You can go online, but really go to Best Buy has a lot of these.
No, I was thinking more of, I'm sorry, to have my back to you.
Yeah.
The Sky Bell sounded very good. Although I know a lot of neighbors have gone from the Ring to the Ring Pro and they're raving about it in our immediate area. And I actually came here because I wanted to hear Phillip talk about the motion detector lights with the video for the back of the house.
Right.
So,
You'll talk to him independently.
I will talk to him independently, but I'm concerned about going ahead with any of these. We're gonna go ahead with something, but my concern is we're gonna be traveling
Okay. So
in another state.
you just have to ask the question.
Neighborhood watch.
No, but there's the technology. Most of these should be able to send you should be able to get an alarm on your smartphone if you're in Portugal or whatever, and through the internet be able to see what's going on at your house.
But not do anything about it.
Well, you can call.
Exactly. Who don't answer the phone?
Well,
I call the alarm company.
this is another discussion. It gets complicated.
The thing about monitoring is so great, you have a monitoring service and they have to call somebody. Well, who are they going to call? LAPD? Well, that's kind of an issue. So you probably best beefing up, if you buy a do-it-yourself system and it calls you, that's great, so you can see what's going on, it records the cameras, great. But if you don't have pets, you might want to take a siren or a few sirens and put them inside your house and make it unbearably loud when your alarm goes off inside your house.
I just have to say, what you might want to do is, if you're going away, you're going away for a month, you're going to Portugal, I'm just saying that.
I wish.
Whatever, okay, you know what I mean, okay? Tell a neighbor, trusted neighbor,
Yeah.
I'm going away, if my alarm goes off, can I call you? Have them check it out.
So how would a siren, let's say my alarm goes off. If I buy a siren, would I attach it to my alarm?
You attach it to your alarm system.
Oh,
The alarm people do.
Well, again, who do you have? You have ADT? Call them. The siren should be standard feature with your alarm system.
okay.
Well, our alarm already has a bell.
Yes, but it's a very quiet bell and it's very irritating to me.
I'm in the emergency
It used to be
services
very
business,
loud.
like a cutting edge, like Silicon Valley type. I don't think I should say
Marsha has some experience in the
anything. And the emergency services technology business. My husband and I owned a company. We designed security and emergency systems for the Department of Defense, most of the prisons in the United States, et cetera. And we started a company a couple years ago to bring, we pretty much know all the problems. And the one thing that almost all emergency systems don't take into consideration is the individual.
Right.
So we started a company in which this is our focus, is the individual and making sure that they survive an emergency event, whether it's, we have a big focus on medical emergencies. And one of the issues that we are successfully dealt with is this issue of, if you're away and your property or your mother or your sister is in distress and you're 2,000 miles away from them, how do you manage that? We have a solution for that. I won't go into it. But technology is getting there.
Next move, speaker.
What?
We'd love to hear more.
I could hear my husband talk too. No, I mean, the reality is, and we see it with 911 right now, that's why I would love for 911 to come. There are 6,000 911 centers in the United States. They're called PSAPs. There is no federal organization that regulates them. Each one, there is a trade union that gives loose parameters for what they should do. They are financed by the FCC. They are financed by your landline taxes. 80% of the calls that come into 911 centers are from mobile phones. About 20% of PSAPs around the country are unable to capture information from a cell phone, and they're unable to capture location.
Oh, wow. Because of the,
They can't capture it. And here's another issue with the 911 centers. They have a jurisdiction. They buy a map from Pitney Bowes, okay, and it shows the delineation of what the area that they cover. Let's just say you're driving on the 405 and you don't know where you are, okay, and a car's following you. You're really afraid. You call 911, and they say, "Where are you?" And it's night. And you don't know where you are, okay? You call one entity, and then it goes to another county. They're going to drop that call. They're not going to be able to call the right response for you. So there are major issues with there are systemic problems with 911.
All right, we do have to stay on topic.
Yeah.
We could agendize that for another night.
thank you, that's all helpful.
And we are going to have someone we can contact to bring the 911 people out.
Perfect.
Thank you for
That'd be
looking into
great.
that, Patty.
Thank you for letting me talk.
So any other questions that Peter, that neighbors who have ringed, anything else you want to bring up now?
So technically, just it seems like a couple things are maybe not clear. So there's two rings. There's I don't know what you call the Model 1 or whatever, and then there's a Ring Pro. The first one, Model 1, you can power it from your doorbell, or it has an onboard battery that you can charge through a USB connector.
Or a solar.
Or solar, but the Ring Pro, I believe, does not have an onboard battery, and you would have to power it from your doorbell wiring. Yeah.
Okay.
And the same thing with Skybell. It doesn't have a battery. You also have to wire it into your old doorbell.
I'm sorry to take up time.
No, this is why you're here. Go ahead, this is why we're here.
Okay, our doorbell, here's our door, but our doorbell's over here, and it's electric. So to do either one of those, it would behoove us to have the doorbell moved to face people facing our door. Is that not correct?
It's a really wide-angle lens on all these
But you're gonna get a
devices.
side view.
Yeah.
Well, our doorbell is like this high and face value, so we couldn't hook it up to the doorbell because it wouldn't get the face of the person.
Right.
So, but
Well, ours
it's
is
not a
lower.
big problem to take it down and charge it once a month for an hour.
Would you?
I have-
I don't have the Pro, I just realized I have the regular one and it works fine.
Works fine.
Do you have to have a doorbell next to the ring? Or ring can be somewhere
Ring
on
can-
other side?
It can be wherever.
As long as you have a wire coming from doorbell to the ring, you can locate ring wherever you want.
There's one model of Ring that does not need to be hooked up to the wiring, and
Right.
that's,
So technically, when you push button on a ring, it does have a button, right?
Yes.
It activates the
It's a doorbell.
doorbell,
doorbell.
right? So it's a duplication, right? You have two doorbells
You take it
essentially.
off.
Or you can take
Yeah, you
one.
take-
one.
yeah.
So
Take your
you-
old one off.
Okay.
Take the old one off.
And another, you mentioned something about Wi-Fi being an issue with, do you have something that has a LAN connection, hardwired?
No,
connection?
there are other devices that are not as popular. Some of them do actually have a hardwired connection for your network.
Right,
You know, there's other devices, but there's two that are rather popular, and that's the Skybell and the Ring.
and they don't have hardwired.
No, they're Wi-Fi.
Do they both go to the cloud?
Yes.
Is everyone familiar with the term knock-knock burglaries?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
I've seen them. I've seen those guys, yeah.
Oh, but they're really called, what did I say, flockers.
Flockers.
That's flockers. You meet some hoodlum on the street, say, I know you're a flocker. And then you do. But let me just say one more thing about the Ring, which I didn't notice. If you disconnect your other doorbell, my husband is not technologically, he doesn't want to deal with all that. So when somebody rings the doorbell and I'm not home, he doesn't know somebody's ringing the doorbell, because I'm the only one that gets it on my phone. So we didn't disconnect our regular.
There is an option with Ring
Yeah.
that you can plug in this other device.
Yeah,
You
and
get
have a
multiple-
chime.
Get a
Yeah.
few chimes, you can put them throughout your
That's
house.
an interesting
I have those
point.
two chimes in my house.
Yeah. And they, one has a dog barking, but it doesn't bark long enough. You know?
Deterrents,
Oh, I like
we're,
that.
we're told time and time again that deterrents are dogs barking,
Dogs,
the
dogs.
TV being on loud, the radio being on, or someone responding to a knock on the door. You shouldn't ignore it, at least peek out or, let them
Talk
see
to
you.
your neighbors.
We're hearing this time and time again of the deterrents, and those are 4 big ones.
Can I ask you a question about that? So someone knocked on my door Monday night. Have you been hearing about the times? This was late. You guys were saying that seemed odd.
Well, 10:30 is late to knock on your door.
Yeah.
No one should be
Well,
knocking on your door.
But you still want to answer it.
No, I'm wondering if it was maybe a
You don't
legitimate. I didn't answer
No,
it.
no,
You
no.
didn't.
No, you always go to the door and
No,
say,
that's-
get off my porch or something.
That's not my question. My question is, do you think that was a burglar?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes.
We were burglarized 10 to 11 on Sunday night. 10 to 11 on
Oh, my
Sunday.
God.
So if this is the knock burglars, and we assume we were not home, obviously. So if we assume that they knocked before they broke
But it
4 by
wasn't
6
nice.
window, double pane window, then that's what they do. That's the answer for you. That at 10 to 11 on Sunday night, they knock at the door.
Well, you
If
know,
that's what they did before breaking in.
a burglar's not going to ring the doorbell, but the motion detectors alert you. Like that was, the ring you just heard from mine was just someone, probably my husband going out the door or something. But I got one, I was in Hollywood and my motion detector went off. I looked out and this guy was on my porch and he said, yeah, I said, who's there? And he says, DirecTV. And I said, why are you here? And he says, you have an appointment. I said, no, I don't. I said, show me your badge. And he ran off the porch.
So you can talk on your phone to the Ring on your doorbell, and they don't know they don't know where you are.
Yes.
But
we
he hadn't even
understand.
rang the doorbell, and I got it from the motion.
I love that.
But
Motion
you got it from
detector,
the motion.
exterior motion detector?
Exterior motion.
No, the motion.
Well, it's
on
the ring.
It's
A
on
ring has a motion too. So
Yeah,
not
it's on there.
only that they can actually push the bell, the motion picks them up once they approach the
If you
the
go
ring.
on their
They come in
website,
the
you
zone.
can see videos. of how
Yeah,
it
yeah,
works.
yeah, we
Go on
we saw
YouTube
it.
and just
yeah.
watch.
I can
Yeah,
show
there
you
is
after.
another one
So,
called Kuna.
did you answer or did you not answer, or what did you do at 10:30?
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, who is it?
Okay, good.
And
Oh,
then,
good.
well, obviously I.
Don't open the door.
No, of course not. And I didn't even look out the peephole, I was too afraid.
Okay.
And then I heard voices outside,
Oh,
Yeah, so they come at any time of the
and
day
then
and
I called the
night.
police.
Okay.
And they
Good.
came right away.
Yes.
They were
Oh,
there
wow.
within,
That is
less
the
than 10
right
minutes.
thing to do. Right.
Yeah,
And if
but
you-
it takes them less to go and break
yeah,
in.
I called 911, I got a recording, and the recording said hold for, I was on hold for maybe 5 seconds. They came on right away.
One out of 100? But you did the right thing. And
Well, I
the
called
other
my
thing,
neighbor first, my next door neighbor, she wasn't home.
that's good, because that's what Neighborhood Watch is about, so you can alert your neighbors across the street and down the street, because they're probably doing it to their houses too.
Right. I actually called JT, but he wasn't, I didn't reach him, so I don't know if he knows.
Yeah, I don't know where I read it, about what to say when you get a knock. Not opening the door, but who is it? But I forget the first sentence, but then the second sentence was, oh, okay, the police are on their way. Not in a threat, it was just as though you mistook them for someone else. And so you were just kind of talking to them from in your house.
Can you say that part one more time?
I wish I knew what I was talking about. I read, it's a two-parter. I don't know where I saw it, but when someone knocks on your door, so you go and you look, and you talk, you ask them, oh, are you here for whatever? And the police are on their way, they'll be here any minute. Not as a threat, just because you mistook them for someone else.
Oh,
I don't understand.
I know.
Your objective is you just want to let them know you're home. And if you're not home, the dogs barking or your doorbell, or there's an inside camera thing too that you can get too, but you just want to and then you want to be able to call your neighbors.
Which system has the barking dogs when the doorbell rings?
It's called the chime. It's an additional feature you can buy.
So it's one of the chimes
on
that
the
you were
ring.
telling me
Oh, I
about.
didn't know chime had dogs.
For the ring, yeah.
Okay.
I've had a situation where somebody's at the door and my dogs are barking. So I would say, well, I'm sorry, I can't open the door because I can't control the dogs.
That's a good one.
But now we're down to one dog now.
Who's almost deaf, so
You
that's
just
gone.
get a door
You say,
before
"I'm
they
busy
get
cleaning
both
my
get
guns
hysterical.
right
All right, I'm just cleaning my guns.
Okay.
Right.
Another thing, I mentioned this before, you need to take in your garbage cans the same day as the trash man picks it up, because you're like a sitting target. If the trash can's sitting there for days, it's like nobody's home.
Well, there's a city ordinance that you have to take them in within 6 hours of pickup or something.
Have you seen our
You
street?
know, I'll give you a list, Patty, you can go from house to house.
On our street.
Or your street.
Craig, I'd like to share something with technology that liberated my family. My daughter and son-in-law live at the corner of Agnes and the one where the street fell in. Woodridge, and the Rudolph Schindler house, and it's all glass. Someone in the daylight walked up, smashed the glass door, pulled off they had a camera in there, went through the whole house. They don't have money, no jewelry. Took all their computers, and my son-in-law does lighting, so he needed those computers. Later that night, after they'd made the police report, about 7 o'clock, his phone started pinging. And he answered it, and it was pinging from Colton, California. We don't know anyone in Colton. And he called, and this man said, what? And he said, do you have my computers? And he said, no, I wouldn't have your computers. He said, well, my computer is pinging at your house in Colton. He said, cannot be. He said, I'm calling the Colton police and the LAPD. Long story short is the LAPD took up that ping. They and my son-in-law went to Google Earth, looked down on the house and saw a white car in this house in Colton, California.
Wow.
And it's a white Audi. The police went to the house, did not have a search warrant, and left, but they knew when they came back it wouldn't be there. The police said they went from that house, they figured out the DMV address. They went to DMV, got the license on the car, the name of the owner, and it was a white Audi. My son-in-law went on LinkedIn, and up popped the picture of this man. Yeah. And I know exactly who he is. And mind you, he was stealing computers, and he owns a white Audi. The neighbors across the street on Agnes have a camera, and they said, the day of that burglary, we saw a white Audi going up and down the street. And they now know who it is, where he lives, and what he's done. And his profession is he's a computer consultant, like Geek Squad. And he's fencing.
Did they get him?
Not that, we don't know that. We're not allowed that. But there was another burglary in Sherman Oaks with a white Audi involved, with the 2 days before. And my point is, they've got all these points and they'll put them together, and we may not know what they're doing. But I am sure, since we know who he is, I am sure that there's ways that the police are going to take care of this. And it was all some good
So
electronics.
he's during the day works as a consultant and at night, and the rest of the time?
No, I
his
think he
side
has,
job, he's
his
stealing
gang members that go out and shop for him.
If you have, I know I have it on my laptop, I have a
Amazing.
Macintosh. I have software on my Macintosh that if it's stolen,
Yeah.
that you report it stolen and it takes a picture and and it also, it will start to simulate like there's something wrong with it too, so that they will take, the idea is to lure them into taking it somewhere to get fixed. It's a piece of software, yeah. I'll let you know, I can't remember the name.
The Ring and other devices, they're primarily recording and kind of monitoring devices. But is anything available on the market that would provide actual protection, like motion sensors exteriorly on the house, on the side?
If you don't have, let's say you don't have pets, okay,
Right.
in your house, there is a device that looks like a recessed light that has canisters of mace in it that will hook up to your alarm system. So, I mean,
No, I mean,
You can do all kinds of
like a
crazy
motion sensor, just
but
simple
a motion
motion
sensor is not going to protect you, you know?
Motion sensor will activate your alarm system. Exterior motion sensors activate your alarm system.
But what is your alarm system? Is your alarm system a bunch of sirens or lights? You have to have something. that-
Right, of course.
So we have some motions to quickly discuss, and it's topics we've talked about earlier this evening. So I will read the motion, and then we'll open it up to public comment, to committee comment, and then a vote. So the motion is, in response to increased difficulty in connecting via phone to local LAPD precincts, the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports the council motion, reference CF 170225, that requests that the LAPD, with the assistance of the Information Technology Agency, ITA, report on its current phone-based customer service systems, including new measures to ensure that individuals who call LAPD stations are informed of the different methods available to contact the department, such as 1877 Ask LAPD, online crime reporting, text-to-tip, etc. Plus, instituting a modern phone customer service system that includes an automatic customer callback function that would enable an individual who calls the station to leave a message and be called back by a LAPD representative, rather than being placed on hold or transferred to 311. And finally, adding functionality to the department's phone system that would correctly route calls to either the divisional level or the responsible city department.
Can I say one other thing? So sorry. Sometimes I get a thing, it's called Studio City newspaper. It's just this little, very small, in a newspaper in a plastic baggie.
Yep.
But what happens, they drop it, and if I'm not home, if I sleep out that night, I come back the next day or 2 days later, and it's been sitting in my driveway. And I've emailed them a couple of times asking them to please do not leave it, but they do, and that's very dangerous, you know?
Have you talked to them and they just haven't
Not
done anything?
personally,
It's
I've
once a
emailed.
month, yeah,
Yeah, no,
I know.
but, yeah.
This is another neighbor situation. So if you have like a communication with your neighbors, if you each see each other, it's accumulation of those things, just
Yeah,
pick them up for each other.
Any public comments on this motion? Pretty clear cut. Committee members, anything you want updated, changed?
I just want to know, I gave that to Captain Graham today.
The
He didn't
agenda?
know- He didn't know that motion. He was like thrilled.
Oh, good.
He's like, loves you guys.
Is he happy with the message boards?
He's very, very happy with the message
Okay,
boards.
good.
They're calling Peter, I don't know if they have yet. Have they called him?
We've emailed a little bit, but, good.
Okay, so I guess we'll move to a vote. Any comments? Good? No? Do you want to take the vote?
Yes. Craig.
Yes.
John. Yes. Marsha.
Yes.
Patty.
Yes.
One of us.
Sorry, Patty Paul.
Yes.
Patty Kirby.
Okay,
So it passes unanimously.
great. And now we'll go in front of the Studio City Neighborhood Council for a, hopefully another unanimous vote of support, and then to the LA City Council. So we're going to talk about knock-knock burglaries now, a motion that has also come in from the LA City Council and by Mitchell Englander. He's a councilman for District 12. I will read it, and the $50,000 reward is what they're offering, and you'll see in the motion that we ask that they raise it even more. That'll be our recommendation. So the motion is, in response to an increase in knock-knock burglaries across the city, the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports the City Council motion to provide an offer of a reward for information leading to the identification, apprehensions, and conviction of the persons responsible for a series of knock-knock burglaries and those that purchase stolen property from knock-knock burglars across the city of Los Angeles. The Studio City Neighborhood Council recommends raising the $50,000 reward and to extend the discussed period beyond January 1st and March 1st, 2017 window and until the issue subsides. It's motion number CF170010S16. Public comment on knock-knock burglaries, this motion.
If there's a choice, I'd rather have the extension of time rather than the extension of the reward amount, because the reward amount is, exceeding those for murder and, going after those type of people. So to make the reward higher, it seems, I don't know.
I wonder, it is an and right now, how we worded it, but let's see if we could make the language stronger. Something recommends. The Studio City Council not only recommends raising the $50,000 reward, but extend, maybe, does that emphasize it more, maybe? I mean, it's just semantic.
You could say at least 50,000.
Recommends raising.
Raising it to what?
Well, right now, the offer is $50,000.
But they say raising it to
Not
what?
to exceed.
But I see the point. It's like that's not going to make a difference if it goes to 60, but it's more important that the period's extended.
It appears, if I'm reading this correctly, the period has closed. We're in April. We're in May.
Well, it would be for burglaries that happened in that window.
During that time.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we want to make sure our motion says, yeah, keep this going, keep the program going, and extend it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So maybe we take out the raising. Committee, any comments or suggestions or?
It should be extended at least 6 months, at least.
Okay, so maybe to
I think the
extend.
reward, I think
Well,
no
it
one
says
is,
that in number 5 on the motion itself. The offer reward shall be in effect for 6 months.
Right.
so then the period of time should extend to,
Through at least
Until the
I
issue
think it should be till
subsides.
December 2017.
until the issue subsides.
It's there.
Okay. The recommends
Yeah.
supports the $50,000 reward, and
I was just thinking that the reward, I said it as a joke, but I think it's true. The only people that would care about the $50,000 are the knock-knockers themselves that turn each other in.
great.
Because the people, in the neighborhood, if they see someone, they're gonna report it. I don't think anyone cares that
But it would
there's a
motivate
reward.
the
You think
the
it's a
knock-knock
motivator?
burglars
To
to
do
report on
more.
each other.
Yeah,
But it would also.
Or their friends and family.
Other-
yeah.
To the point, my other issue with this is there's this idea that there are maybe 5 people that are going around and doing this, and that they are the knock-knock burglars, that it's this sort of romanticized Dick Tracy group. Or maybe it's people like you were talking about who heard a song and are a team of 2 that don't know the other team of 2 or don't know the other team. So the only issue I have with this is thinking about it in terms of we're going to have $50,000 for this group of people, these bandits, until the problem goes away. And they put a name on it, but I feel like this type of burglary has been around since I was a kid. You knock and see if someone's home, and then you break in. That's just what burglary is.
Yeah.
But they put a
Look,
name
does
on
it feel like a little bit of a press release situation that this councilman? Yes.
Great. And to that point, great. So we'll put a name on it. I think giving a reward is a deterrent. So I support it in that way. But
So we're just going to change it. The Studio City Neighborhood Council supports the $50,000 reward and to extend the discuss period until the issue subsides, keep it more open-ended.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I don't know if I brought this up last time, but my husband and I were walking in the Footbridge Square area maybe about a month and a half ago, and we saw a young guy knocking on doors. We were walking like about 10 o'clock at night. It was a Sunday. And some other people were walking and said that they had run into him, and he said he was raising money for North Hollywood High.
Yeah, that's a big issue right now
Okay.
tonight on Next Door Neighbor. They're talking about that. There was an incident in Irvine Street last night or this weekend that, is everyone familiar with this? It's actually kind of interesting. It just came down, it's worth talking about for a moment here.
I think we should call North Hollywood High.
That's
Didn't
part of the
someone-
discussion.
someone said they called the principal. Was it
There's
the
no
previous
school that
meeting?
would authorize their students to be going out.
No one should be going to people's doors during the day, let alone after
Yeah,
dark. I
yeah.
mean, that's unexcusable. I'm going to read this. Just friendly reminder to stay alert. Yesterday, a 15-year-old male was walking on Irvine, clipboard in hand, and approached several houses before stealing a skateboard from someone's lawn and running off. He was chased by several neighbors who held him until police arrived and taken into custody. Evidently, he was attempting to sell magazines.
For his high school project, raise money for like the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone comes to my door for like that, I always say, send me something in the mail.
Perfect.
I always say, send me something in the mail.
So this continues to be an issue. So I guess we'll vote on it, on this motion right now. If you want to do the call, please. Thank you.
Craig.
Yes.
John. Yes. Marsha.
Yes.
Patty Paul.
Yes.
Patty Kirby.
Yes.
You're a good learner.
Passes unanimous.
Okay.
But do you think we should call North Hollywood High principal to let them know that if they are telling their kids to go
They are
fundraising,
not.
they're
Yeah,
not?
They're not.
Someone may have thought, they were saying Hollywood High School 3 months ago when somebody called.
They're
and they
not.
said
We're beyond that
they're not.
stage right
Okay.
now.
Yeah, all
Um,
right, it's not.
Okay. Patty Kirby, any extra CPAB things you want to speak to?
That's pretty, we are going to focus our meetings starting in May to have 3 takeaways to come out that Captain wants us to spread out into the community. So, which is, instead of us going, oh, what did we cover? We're going to walk out with every meeting with the captain with 3 takeaways that he wants to get out. So I think that'll be meaningful.
Yeah. And we are going to connect, even tomorrow, let's get that going with the...
I'll be out of town tomorrow. I'm leaving early in the mornings, but, yeah, I'll tell my husband's staying home.
Okay. And the dog.
And the dog. So,
Tell your
I'll be
neighbors.
back Sunday.
Okay.
So just send me an email and I'll stay there and remember to get back to you.
let's talk about that and getting the community support. I think it's a great idea. I don't think there's any attending neighborhood watch groups here. How's your neighborhood doing? Any up? Cahuenga?
We're starting to pull together.
Pretty good. Donna's, how's that going up there?
We don't know.
Traffic's less.
There's a meeting tonight in the Donnas on Laurelwood.
That's right.
Yeah.
In someone's house?
Yeah. There's a meeting tonight.
Was it in next door? I didn't hear it.
How could they get on those
No,
proper lists?
Who is doing?
Who is holding the meetings?
Sandy. Oh, no.
I would love that.
Wow, you didn't know
Yeah,
about that?
we didn't know.
Or was it, I don't think it would
Maybe
have been.
it's just a 2-block area, not the whole area.
Okay.
It wasn't a major, it was like
They might be starting small.
starting a
Yeah.
small 2-block area.
Like, yeah,
At someone's house?
But if you don't have your 2-block area covered, I mean, we want to have big, large areas, but we also want to have focused 2-block areas. That's where you make the difference. You get to know the people, they're your neighbors, they have your cell phone numbers, it's real-time communication.
So how do
So-
you do that?
You set up a meeting with the people on your 2 blocks, and we'll help you. We'll help you get it organized.
Okay.
Okay.
Wrapping things up, just, we talked about the budget requests. And we could open it up to like I said, the Studio City Neighborhood Council has X amount of dollars each year, and they give it out in various respects. But does the Public Safety Committee need any items that could be valuable at a future outreach, at a farmer's market,
Yeah.
at National Night Out? Any suggestions?
Are we gonna do another farmer's market table?
Yes, but I would like some items to be able to give out.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
So if you have any ideas that we could put, because we have to get this in front of the board pretty fast.
What's the budget that we could ask for?
Well, we have to be reasonable. If it's tchotchkes, if we ask for too much, the whole board won't pass it. But if it's, little flashlights or
That's what I'm thinking.
some shirts or,
I think I think flashlights.
Flashlights could be good.
That's number one. Can we have them imprinted? Like,
right, yeah, we would try to get them imprinted. I can't imagine that's costing more than a few hundred for a nice quantity.
we have to go to promo shop for that.
And last month, we heard representatives of CERT talk about training, and they had mentioned
Oh,
that
yeah.
the board previously supported a CERT training event for Studio City, and the board provided emergency kits as an incentive for people who
Yes.
signed up, that they would get it
That is a good
upon.
point.
Many neighborhood councils do that.
Right. So I've been in touch with a couple people to try to figure out what, how much that costs and what's involved in that. I don't have an update yet, but I've been getting some information back.
I got a whole bag of stuff when I went. I mean, they just
They
kept
gave you?
bringing.
They
Oh
gave
my
it to you?
God.
Great.
Really?
I will
I got
ask
a
you.
helmet.
Are you gonna try to
Yeah, I
get
got
it
the hard hat.
For June?
Oh, when you went to CERT.
That's-
When I did
Okay.
start,
Okay, you
yeah.
did start.
I
Good.
mean, but it was supplied by Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council, which I'm
not getting a lot.
not in their area, but
Yeah.
You're running out of time.
no, they were very generous. And they provided food.
Oh, because we would have to. Oh, but we could.
It
take
has
the
to,
budget.
it has to go to the budget committee immediately, then it goes to the last meeting.
Right.
Okay, so.
You know, I think it'd be interesting to kind of like analyze why we had a really important meeting last time.
Yeah.
And why we didn't have throngs of people. We
Well,
live
we
in such
did-
a vulnerable area for,
We've had
natural disaster.
We had 250 views of the meeting.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah, the highest views of any
Okay.
Studio City
Okay.
Neighborhood Council meeting, so.
Really?
So that's
Oh, that's great.
But how do we get their bodies?
Look, we presented,
Either way.
it's our job as the committee to come up with the topics. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Can I?
It's our job to come up with the interesting topics. We present it to the neighborhoods, and hopefully they will attend. I mean, there were interested parties tonight in Ring. There were some interested parties last time, not as much as we like. So it's just, we continue to offer speakers that are relevant in the area of public safety, and let the neighborhood decide. So as you know, I'm always up for ideas. And National Night Out, That's coming out in August. National Night Out's a yearly thing for across the country. Usually the neighborhood councils get involved in some capacity. John, is that something that you could maybe talk to Richard about, get some some feedback, and then we could talk about it at the next meeting or start pushing this forward?
The idea is similar to what the farmers market was, which is a meet and greet, build the community, know your local emergency folks. And so we're the idea is
It's really LAPD help program.
You know, they have the events in North Hollywood. There's different locations, right?
We've done, you remember that, we did a huge event 2 years in Studio City at Pins Bowling.
Right.
It was like so much work, and I really think the idea of it is to keep small neighborhoods, each little pocket have their own little national night, meet on the middle of the block, and you just want to give them tools to put that on, so you can walk, the idea is to walk to it, meet your neighbors, and then the senior lead officer makes his rounds to all the different, if you register that you're gonna have one, the officers will split up and.
So instead of participating in a large field of 25 vendors, try to do something, I'm kind of leaning there, but
I completely agree. And last year, the board it was something before we got there had funded an event at the Riverside Mall, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the week of the event, I saw on Nextdoor that people were doing exactly what you're talking about, which was grassroots. Like, let's get together. Oh, this is happening. And it seemed like those outings were quite successful and to the point.
So you'd have one at Beaman Park, one at Moore Park, one at Woodbridge
Exactly.
Park, in Studio City area, and then people can get to it, not big parking problem. But I mean, I spent the $10,000 on that one. It cost us $10,000 to put that on.
Right.
And we really didn't make a dent.
Right.
It was really a waste of money.
Right. And that's just it. I don't want to, because I'm getting a lot of pressure from certain members of the council to do something, and I just don't want to get lost and waste our time on things that may or may not be effective, because last year, frankly, it was a waste of
I
time.
want to give funding maybe so that they can hire a little band or a banjo player, you know, to make it festive, or a bouncy house or something.
Yeah.
Not a bouncy
Yes, Peter.
It's not because of your lack of trying. I see that the outreach is not happening. I mean, it needs to be, somebody who really knows social media, fix the website, blah, 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 all these things so that you contact, everybody in every possible every possible way. So,
Okay, I think we'll wrap things up. Committee members, any other additional points?
I would just like to remind you to go on to the new Crimebusters website.
I just joined it.
On Facebook.
Facebook, it's a private group, you have to be, you request to join, and then it's governed, so no crazy people can, like, make crazy posts. If you are, you're kicked out. You'll be kicked out very soon.
And what if you don't do Facebook?
You don't do it. I mean, it's just it's a Facebook, it's one of the social media tools. We're using Nextdoor. We're posting in every neighborhood on Nextdoor. We finally figured out how to do that. And we're doing Facebook. So between the two, we hope to cover a lot of that. And it's a place you can post.
because that's what brought us here.
Yay!
So that's good.
Sorry, I've been not looking at
No.
But yeah, that's great to know. It's good to hear. A little bit of progress.
Is the same thing on
Amelia's Earhart Library in the park.
Not necessarily.
On Thursday,
It may end up.
20 coffee trucks there. Thursday evening, dinner, walking truck to truck. We did it many times, truck to truck, and see, all different kinds of food trucks. And you can get something in there or not, or just maybe do something to park at the same time. It has a lot of people in it.
Food trucks?
Yeah, coffee trucks are all lined up.
Maybe we ask money for a food truck. It'll be a late night.
On
But there was
Thursday
like
nights?
20 trucks there. One makes pizza, another one makes burritos.
I wanted to make one last
He's
time.
coming up with ideas for National Night Out, I'm guessing.
It's a great idea.
I have
And
That is a
back.
great idea.
I have a rather stupid question, and I'm sorry. We always get emails from Studio City Neighborhood Council, because we used to go a lot, way back with the Moore Park Bridge project, is when we got very involved with them. I think I heard about this meeting
through Nextdoor
I probably
and-
posted, yeah.
and about the ring, but I've never heard about the public safety meeting. I don't get emails about you guys.
So you get all neighborhood council alerts, but you're not getting public safety alerts?
Never saw them before.
Are you on Nextdoor?
Yes.
You post them as events?
It's not on Nextdoor,
No,
it's a
she's-
direct email that Rita,
Well, you post
No,
it.
what I
But
saw
this
on
worries
Nextdoor
me.
was the ring guy was going to
Yeah,
be
that's
here.
what-
That's how I
Yeah.
got here
No.
you
tonight.
didn't get
Separate
an email
This is a
about
different,
the
this is a
agenda.
bigger issue, because this
Yeah.
concerns me.
Yeah.
I will
Actually,
talk.
I opened something and then I could see the agenda for tonight, but I had to go, somebody had to tell me on Nextdoor
Uh-huh.
that the ring thing was going on at the public safety meeting, which I don't even know about.
It is possible, if you go to your, because I had to do this for my own meeting, it was in my spam folder.
I check my spam every morning. I've never got, but you have my email address now.
Yeah,
and
you will
his,
now get the
And
emails.
I get every month from Studio City Neighborhood
But
Council.
you have never seen a public safety,
You
interesting.
get the board, general board meetings notices, but you don't get the
But you
public
don't get
safety.
this one?
I've never
It's the
seen
same
it.
email
That's what
list.
worries me.
I've never
there's 5
gotten
different-
anything
Okay,
from the public
I'm gonna look
safety
into that because I've been thinking about that when people check.
ever.
We're gonna wrap things up, and thank you.
Okay, thank you.